And we are finally live with, this time, the camera working. Isn't this great? So these are the little hiccups you can experience when you're live and you tested everything before and then you launch it for going live, to go live, and then boom, it doesn't work. Something disconnected. And this time it was the camera that disconnected for whatever reason. I'll find that out later. But anyway, here we are. Friday to do our Thursday live streams because yesterday, as I told you, too much things going on around Christmas, so I had to postpone it to today. But nonetheless, thank you for being here. Thank you for watching this either live or as a replay later on. Today's topic, I chose something that I personally find very interesting as a marketer, and that's very easy for everyone to actually do, which is something that most of us lack, which is watching over the shoulders of a user arriving on our website. So why would I want to do that? Let me explain. Well, first of all, it's ethically spying or looking over the shoulder of a user on our website. In my case, or in some of your cases, it would be a landing page. So the reason is not because we're curious to do to know what users are doing on our website just because out of curiosity, but there's a very precise marketing objective related to that desire, and that desire comes in 3 letters: C, R, and O. Conversion rate optimization. So. Conversion rate optimization. Yeah. So it's very important as soon as we are investing into things that cost money to drive people to our websites or landing pages, to make sure that our money is well invested, right? And conversion rates, just as a quick reminder, is the rate of people that will do a desired action on the landing page, so the page that they land on your website. So users doing a specific action that you want them to do. That's the conversion. And conversion can come in any kind of form and shape and color. It could be a download of a document. It could be subscribing to a newsletter or to a live stream, like in my case, to subscribe for this live stream. The link that you will find, by the way, underneath this video. It could be take a discovery call or a strategy call, as it's sometimes called. Long story short, there is something that you want the users to do on your website, because you have not just a brochure website to have it sit there and not work for you, but it has to fulfill a specific objective when it comes to marketing and to sales. So obviously it could also purchase a service or an online course, a coaching program, or a hypnotherapy session in our case, if it is if you're talking about hypnotherapy. So as soon as you have a specific objective that you want people to do on your website, you have to take care that the highest number of people are actually converting, meaning taking the steps that are required to transform their visit into what you want them to do. And that's called a conversion. And the conversion rate, very simply, is the number of people expressed in a percentage of the total number of people that visited your page, right? So that number is, by the way, called impressions. An impression is whenever somebody arrives on your site. They may arrive there out of error, or because that's not what they were looking for. They were searching on Google, found interesting link, clicked on that link, arrived on your website, and they were not interested in hypnotherapy in the first place or in coaching programs in the first place. They would immediately leave, which is, by the way, called a bounce rate, but some of those will stick there. And but whenever somebody voluntarily or involuntarily stays on your website or leaves on your website, that's called an impression. So let's say you have 1,000 impressions, and out of those 1,000 impressions, 100 people stay on that page and do something. They visit that page, they read, and then they click on something. Now we have what's called a click-through rate, CTR. Click-through rate is the number of people that did something on that page in percentage, expressed in percentage, in terms of the relative to the number of impressions, so the number of people that arrived on that page. Conversions are the next step. Impressions, clicking, and then a conversion. A conversion being something specific you wanted them to do. For example, somebody could click on your strategy call button, but doesn't leave his or her name and email. So you'll never be able to get into touch with that person, or that person was never able to view your calendar and book a strategy call with you. So we don't have a conversion. We have a click, but we don't have a conversion. So the conversions are the number of people expressed in a percentage of the total number of clicks that converted into desired action. So you have now those three levels: impressions, clicks, click-through rate, conversion rate. So if you invest money to drive people into what's called marketing funnel, a marketing funnel leading them to the page that you have, that would be the first step of that funnel, for example, an ad on Facebook or on Google Ads. And you want them to do something specific, and you paid now for this click to arrive on your page. Well, obviously, because you're now paying, you should no longer be indifferent on what happens to that click or to that user on that page. You want that person to do the action, take the action that you want them to do. That's the conversion. So now that you're investing money into this, and let's say a click would be costing anywhere from, depending on the service, anywhere from between $1.50 to $2 to sometimes in the insurance industry that can go up to $30, $40, $50 per click. The insurance industry is a quite expensive industry because the return on investments are very high. So insurance companies are readily accepting a click cost of $20, $30, $40, $50. In our case, it's probably very much lower. It is, in my experience, when it comes to hypnotherapy services specifically, it depends on the location, but they're in between $1.50 to sometimes $3, $4, $5, depending on the keyword that you were targeting. If it's a very specific keyword where we know that people will convert easily because they're more advanced in the marketing funnel, then the prices can go up. But anyway, now you're investing money. Let's say it's $5 a click. So you want 100 clicks, because you know that for 100 clicks you get 10 conversions, 10% conversion rate. So 100 clicks times 5, that's $500. $500 a month is really considered a starter budget, either on Facebook or on Google Ads. But for somebody starting out, gosh, that's a lot of money, right? It's not to take them lightly. So you want to make sure that your money that you invested is invested in the best possible way. And the only way to make sure that it's, once you've taken care of your campaign, that is well optimized, obviously, that would be the first step. But once somebody comes on your website, you don't want to lose those people, right? You want to make sure that everything has been designed on that page in such a way that it will be easy for users to find what you want them to do and to then take that action, the conversion. So, and that's called conversion rate optimization, CRO, right? That's things that we need to do on our websites to induce people to take the conversion that we want them to take. Now, the big question is, and that's the topic of today's live stream, how in God's name do you know what to do on a landing page or on a website to make sure that your conversions are okay, that people do what you want them to do, that they don't leave and they don't become a bounce because you forgot to do something on that page? Because guess what? If you have a lot of bounces and less conversions, people not doing what you want them to do, those $500 that you invested in the first place very quickly are reduced to nothing and to no conversions if you didn't optimize the page to get those people do what you want them to do, right? Now, the big question is, how do you know? How do you know what's happening on your page, right? Because guess what? You, like me, like anyone else having a website or landing pages, we don't sit in the chair of that user, and we don't look over their shoulders to know what's happening. We can't tell them, hey, scroll a little bit further down because there's the button I want you to click on for the conversion. We're not there, right? They're doing their stuff on their own. So, good news is there is a way. And that way is called heat maps and recording what's going on that page when a visitor is visiting your page. And the even better news is it's completely free, my friends. So let me show you, let me introduce you to Microsoft. I hope I have it here. Microsoft Clarity. And I will share my screen with you what that means. But yeah, well, basically, first of all, let me show you my website. So this is the website that I am talking about just for demonstration purposes, my own website, my own hypnotherapy services. And what is this? Get free market? No, I don't need that here. Anyway, if you have a look at this page, everything has been designed in such a way that the marketer would say, hey, this looks pretty good. We have somebody talking to us, straight eye contact. There is no sound because we don't want to annoy people. Imagine they open that page in the bus or, I don't know, in a car with people or in public transport anywhere. And we don't impose ourselves, but we offer them the subtitles. So everything seems to be nicely done here. We have a title that tells them right away what's going on here. Get back on track with staff. Okay, what does that mean? Well, they arrive here probably because they have some problem that can be solved with hypnotherapy. But long story short, it has been nicely designed in such a way that it induces people to take a specific action, and the action is lined out here with a free discovery call. Right? So now let's do a very quick search on Google. Bear with me. And we do a search for hypnotherapy. Just hypnotherapy. And now I have here my ads. And these are ads people are paying for. So I always am tempted not to click on that because I know that costs money for those people. If I click on that, let me see if I can click on something else. Hypnotherapy, Wikipedia, no, Mayo Clinic, whatever. They have not been designed for conversions. So, geez, I'm always scrolling down to not click on it. But let's click on it for this time, just because I need to show you for demonstration purposes. So this is Clear Minds Hypnotherapy. This is Mind Pass Therapies. Well, let's check just like anyone. I click on this one. Okay, page opens. And they now paid for that click, right? And you see, it's not badly done. I have here the name of somebody. I don't have eye contact. There is no video. So it's a little bit, the rapport is not immediately established. There's a lot of text. There's nothing going on. And I have a lot of things here going on with, oh God, I have all those. There's a lot of other possibilities I can do. So you immediately see there's way too many options to take to drive me away from the main action that person probably wanted me to take, which was to book a free consultation now. You see that button here. So the button is actually pretty well placed. It is still visible. I don't need to scroll to see that button. It's fairly small. It is the same color scheme that everything else. It is not very well visible, but for me, the main problem would be the menu. So how would I know what happens on this page in terms of a user visiting this page? And just quickly comparing to, because I don't want to put a website down without showing you how it should be done. Actually, if you arrive on my website, you would say, hey, Steph, you too, you have menus. And you're right. But this is not a page I would use for sending a paid ad traffic to a page. This is my home page, right? But if I have specific problems addressed, they are listed here. And if you click on those, for example, self-esteem, you arrive on a page that has everything, even a video. Whoops, let me quickly just reload that page to get rid of the sound. But there is no menu anymore, right? The only thing you can do on this page, even if you scroll down, is to have a free discovery call, right? And you have that visible here clearly on the top of the page as well. Let's go back here. How would I know what a person is doing here? Because if Deborah LeBlanc, so by the way, Deborah, if you're watching this, my excuses, I just took this as an example. It's not to put your service, your website, or anything down. I actually think it's nicely designed. It is very basic, but there are basic principles that have been respected in terms of conversion rate optimization, except for this. A landing page shouldn't provide these options because they drive people away from the main activity, the main action that Deborah want the visitor to take. So how would I know what's happening on this page so that Deborah would know? Oh, wait a minute, I lose people by clicking on menus. They go away from this page. Here is how. I'm now switching over to Microsoft Clarity, and Microsoft Clarity is, by the way, a completely free service offered by Microsoft to compete very likely against Google Analytics. Google Analytics doesn't offer heat maps in the same way, at least as Microsoft does. They're very well designed, I think, the interface, and we will have a look at it. And they try, obviously, to offer a service, a free service to customers to win them back somehow, because as you may know, Google Bing was very unsuccessful in trying to compete with Google, so they're trying different ways of getting people to use their services and to get back into the fold of Microsoft. And Clarity is one of those tools. And you see here on the left-hand side, you have here a dashboard where you see a lot of nice and important information, like what browsers have people used when they were visiting your website. But you find that in Google Analytics too, right? You have the devices they were using, the operating systems, you have the most popular pages, you have quick backs. Quick backs is the number of people that were visiting a page on your website, were visiting another page on your website, but then immediately came back to the original page. That's what this means. User navigated to a page, then quickly returned to the previous one. So, but what's most important here is this little button here, those two actually. The recordings and heat maps. And you see already that they also integrate with Google Analytics so that you actually have everything on one dashboard in one place. A very good move from Microsoft, by the way. Let's go into recordings. On the left-hand side now, I can watch literally what people did on my website, on HypnoStaff. Let's have a look. So this is the last 3 days. You can change that if you click here. You can have last 3, last 7, like last 30 days, or custom, or whatever. You can even then decide that, okay, I want to only watch people who were accessing the page on PC or on tablet or mobile, which is very interesting and important, by the way, because if you want to optimize a specific page for mobile, this is what you would be looking at. And it will be very quickly show off if things are not the way they should be on your mobile version of your website or landing pages. And I'm just pointing this out because, oh, sorry, I didn't share my page. Let me go back here. So again, when you come back to the dashboard, I quickly go back to the dashboard, Microsoft Clarity. Here's the dashboard. You see, have a nice overview of a lot of things that are going on this website. Quick backs that I just explained a little bit earlier, the most popular pages, the browsers that have been used, the devices, etc. But the most interesting thing to look at are here the recordings and the heat maps. So let's go into recordings. So right now on the left-hand side on recordings, here you see the recordings that have been made, right? And you see one live user, and that's probably just me. If you go to hypnostaff.com, probably this number would increase. So if you want to try this, give it a try. You would type in your browser hypnostaff.com here, and you would probably increase this number here. It should work. And by the way, if you do that, let me know in the chat window. I should be able to see it, and then I can refresh this page and you should see it. But anyway, here you have the recordings now. So somebody was watching, that was probably, no, this is the United States. Somebody was just like bouncing back here. Somebody was staying on this website today from PC, Mac, and Mac OS on 2 different occasions. With 15 minutes they were spending on the homepage. Let's have a look at this. So when I click on this, Microsoft Clarity will load my page. And look, there's a problem right there. I will pause this. So this shows me literally, really, in real time, well recorded, what that person was coming across when visiting my website. And isn't this interesting? Something that I didn't think about in terms of optimization that needs to be changed. When they arrive here, you don't see the video playing. The video will be playing here, but that's not shown in Microsoft Clarity. They will just show you a black screen, but that's it. But now you see what that person does with the mouse. And what's interesting to know is that recordings such as this one and heat maps are based on the fact that we move our mouse around following our eyes. So wherever the mouse goes, you know that that's very likely the place that person is looking at right now when that was recorded. And that's an interesting information because it demonstrates and it shows us what people are watching, what they're looking at on the page. I'm sorry. So what I see on this page is something I don't like at all. And that's something I will be discussing with my team next week. The cookie banner is way too big. It should be very small somewhere at the bottom, and I hope I can change that easily because it takes it blocks the visibility of some of the important portions, which are the logos, my face, etc., etc. Anyway, if we continue the recording, the first thing that person must be doing is closing this window, and that's precisely what happens. You see, the person goes to that window. Now here, what you don't see, the video is playing in the back, and they are reading here the titles because that person didn't click on the button for sound, which is located here. So they're reading right now what's going on. Now let's have a look what happens if. So now the person starts to scroll down, right? When a person scrolls down from a video, the sound may stop, but the person probably realizes when I scroll down, the sound continues. So she lets the sound continue, and now there's a second video window, and the person just scrolls over it and goes straight to the packages, the prices, and that's where they stop and scroll back. They see the prices. So obviously people are always interested by the pricing on a page. They scroll further down the road. They look at stuff. They read stuff. So you see that things are working, right? They take the information that I want them to take in. They didn't yet click on the discovery call button, free discovery call button, but that's perfectly fine. They should be taking that once they trust that this would be worth their while, right? So they're looking at everything, reading everything about staff, about ART. And this is really another person that I don't know where they are located is looking at this website. And this was this morning at 9:13 a.m., right? So they're scrolling by. And the recording, you can scroll front, you can increase the... Oh, they were clicking on something here, apparently. I don't know what they were clicking on. But let's move ahead. You see, nothing's happening. It's very possible that somebody is just scrolling, is just like had that page open and is doing something else. What we all do when we are on our office, on our mobile phone, or mobile phones, we lay them down, or we have something else to do. So nothing's happening for a long time. That's why there's a 16-minute recording. But maybe at some point in time, maybe at some point in time, that person comes back and continues to search. We don't know. I'm just moving forward, but nothing seems to happen here. No, nothing really. So let's move on to, so they didn't convert, right? But one thing we learned with this video is obviously the, and by the way, you see this on the bar, you see when somebody clicks, you see these bars that are added. That's when a person clicks. So very important, something I learned on watching this video this morning was that, hey, something is not right with this cookie banner. It's way too big. So I will try to find a different solution to that cookie banner to make it possible for people to still see and then reduce it. Unless that's not possible because people absolutely need to accept cookies. That's may very well be a legal obligation, but they're not legally obliged to accept it in the very moment. The information needs to be there, and then they can accept at some point in time. But anyway, let's go to another recording. Oops, sorry. Here we go. So let's choose Bump Overdraft. That's probably my team. Yeah, my team. Some of my team is located in the Philippines, so that clearly was somebody in the Philippines. I wouldn't be surprised. I will dig into Microsoft Clarity that I can exclude certain IP numbers from being recorded. In which case I will add the IP numbers of my team to Microsoft Clarity to prevent that from happening. Here I have somebody, Windows in Canada. This could have been me. I'm not sure. Let me see if I can. No, Philippines. That's my team working and verifying things. United States. So that's definitely not somebody me. But this was a bounce. You see, it's just 1 second. Here if somebody on mobile on the self-confidence page. I cannot imagine that was me. You never know. This is, again, the Philippines, France. Look at this. 1 second, a bounce. Okay. 1 second, a bounce. Here we've got in the Philippines, 1 second, a bounce. Here's somebody in the United Kingdom. Let's have a look what happens here. Who is this? Okay, somebody's in the discovery call. So click on that, but nothing else seems to happen because there's something happening here. Let's see. New page loading. Okay, they must have clicked on something. They probably got back to a page. So I'm not sure what happened here. I don't have a mouse appearing either. Let's go to another recording. Windows Canada, anxiety. That's a rocket test. That must have been me. So I need to exclude my own video, my own IP number as well. Last 3 days. Let's go further back. Let's choose something 30 days and then see if I have different recordings that could be of interest for us to look at. But you get the idea here, right? You get the idea that it's possible. 16 minutes Canada Mac OS. I would be surprised if that's me. Let's have a look what happens. Again, cookies. So that's not me because on my end, this doesn't come up anymore. I clicked this for a long time ago. But wasn't that the recording we looked at a little bit earlier? I think so, no? Yeah, I think so. Let's have another one. Windows Canada. This is again Philippines. Well, these are all recent ones. Let's go into older ones. Insomnia from Canada. But they were very short. This is a 1 minute tablet. Let's have a look what happened into 1 minute because that's probably really somebody who was visiting that page. So this is on a tablet and they're just arriving there and they're reading and going down. And again, do you see they have this cookie design there? And for some reason they reduced the screen size. I don't know why. Anyway, there's no clicks. I would like us to find something with a click. Procrastination in Canada. Okay. And again, there are no clicks. So I'm unfortunately not finding anything here that would be worth our while looking. I'm just like, oh, there are 5 clicks storing at 59 discovery call Windows Canada. 5 clicks could be interesting. Let's have a look what happened here. Let's start this recording. That's not me. Okay, so they're closing the cookie. They go to free discovery call. They click on it. Oh wow. Okay, so that must be somebody very interested in the discovery call. They want to check things out. Now things take time for whatever reason. That should be instant. So I'm not sure what happens here. Let's move on forward. The discovery call on my websites are coming up right away, unless there was a problem somewhere with that person, but no. The mouse doesn't move either, so I don't know. But anyway, the discovery call comes up, and on my website, I give them a quiz before they can take a discovery call. I validate them with a quiz. So let's see if that person was really interested in taking a discovery call. Because they they must go to start. Otherwise, nothing will be happening. So, and they are on a iOS mobile, it seems. Okay, they clicked on it. And then I have the privacy policy. They need to accept that, obviously, for me to allow them to move further. So they accept that. Oh, great, good. And then they read something. Sorry. And what happens next? They go next, and then they ask their first name, and that's where that person leaves. Do you see that? So what does it tell me? Well, it tells me that the person might have been interested, but they don't want to leave their personal information because they very quickly are aware about the fact that they need to leave the name, and then they know next what comes up is their email. So this could be what's called a tire kicker, right? Somebody who's just kicking the tire and testing things out. They may be interested because they're landing on a very specific page. It was like to stop insomnia, something I'm targeting with keywords on Google Ads. But they didn't pursue further because for whatever reason, maybe they're not committed enough. Maybe they have sleep problems, but they tell themselves, okay, do I really go through the pains of leaving my name and email and going on a list? And they may be afraid of receiving spam or whatever, even though I very clearly say that this is not about receiving spam. But everything seems to me to indicate that that's a person who is probably not committed enough to engage into a conversion that would lead them to taking a discovery call with me, to speak to me over the phone, right? And that's okay. That's perfectly fine. So, but very interestingly for me, it could be if somebody goes further or even not further, it makes me look back at the discovery call funnel, right? Because there was a lot of text to read. Maybe it's too much text, and maybe I will decide, okay, I need to reduce that text to make it easier for people to go through that funnel. Maybe it was too much time because people are very impatient, as we all are when we are on our mobile phones and on tablets or whatever. That's what we usually do. We jump to the next step. It's too much, and then etc. So probably I will look at two things based on the session we had together today. The first thing is I will look into the cookie banner that arrives. And I will have a discussion with my team. What do you think about this? Should we reduce the size of it? Should we allow them to scroll without accepting the cookies? Or, on the other hand, do we say, no, we want people to validate the privacy settings that are related to the cookie, and otherwise they shouldn't be actually have the comfort of having a clear view of the entire page. That's a discussion I will have. And the second look we will very likely have is a look into the discovery call, the quiz funnel, as we call it internally, to make sure that the texts are straight, short, and allow people to move through the entire thing fast. Because actually, the entire discovery quiz is not very long. It takes, I'd say, a minute at most. If you enter all the information, there's a few questions after that, and basically the entire purpose is for me to test the commitment of a person before they get into a call with me. That's the purpose of my discovery call funnel. And so maybe that person was not the right person in the first place because they were not committed enough to even leave their name and email address, which is exactly what I wanted to achieve. I don't want to take people appointments with me on my calendar not being committed enough. I don't want to, because guess what? If I offer a free discovery call, it's a free for all. I will get all the tire kickers. They will just talk, and they will try to see if they can get a free small hypnotherapy session with me. You know, there is this kind of people. It's fine that they exist, but I just don't want to talk to them because my calendar should be filled up. My time should be filled up with people who are serious, committed, and people I can really help with my services. So, long story short, that was it for today. How much time to get hooked? 40 minutes. Wow, that's a lot of time. I was thinking that this takes 15 minutes, but whenever I get engaged in this, I find it passionate. I'm passionate about it, and I find it interesting. So for you who have watched this video, if you're interested in knowing how to get access to, how to install, let's say, Microsoft Clarity to your website or to your landing pages, leave me a comment underneath this video and tell me with your comment what platform your website is on. Is it a WordPress website? Is it a Wix website? Is it a Squarespace website? Do you have something on a landing page builder such as Unbounce or like we use on Convertri? Give me that information and I will send you a link with a step-by-step approach how to install Microsoft Clarity to your platform so that you can have access to the same information. And trust me, it is absolutely tantamount. It's absolutely crucial if you want to optimize your websites and landing pages to get conversions. There's a lot more things that need to be done, but that's a very important portion of knowing what to do actually when it comes to converting people on a site and to change the designs on that page to increase the conversion rates. I want to leave it at that. Thank you so much for watching. If you're watching this as a recorded session, please feel free to leave your comments. Sign up for the YouTube channel where all these videos will be hosted in a nice organized manner, and you'll have much more interesting stuff to watch at. And other than that, I wish you a great weekend wherever you are in Europe or in the Americas or in Asia. And I'll give you a next meeting, a next rendezvous next week, Thursday. Have a nice one. Bye bye.